Alright, the most popular jungler in the game is very heavily Viego. Brand used to be it, but not because it took skill, because it took the opposite of skill. He's weaker the higher up you go now, but with Blackfire, Torch, and Leandries, still a good choice for anybody looking to sequence mindlessly and do their taxes at the same time. Viego, on the other hand, is, look, you do get boosted a little bit by this champion. Let's not sugarcoat this reality, but a good Viego and a good jungler, when fused together, is something that will get you to Challenger. So figure out which one you need to improve, whether it's your Viego mechanics or your jungling. In this video, we will look and see what you need to do to get from gold to platinum and dominate with Viego. Now, wow. I remember when he would clear at 1 minute 55 basically and be full HP. Glad they nerfed that. Anyway, so Viego's doing the Red Krugs Raptors here. We have Lissandra Corki, Rumble against the Ornn on the top side. Brent, goodness gracious, is he going to get executed? I mean, I know you get a little bit lower now. 233 cross. Viego's ahead of him. That's good. Remember, for Viego, for any jungler, you absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else, as well as all of this hosted in a private jungle Discord. And if there is one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers go from low elo to high elo, as seen by the great number of success stories from the end of last season and already the beginning of season 14. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. Look at your cross timers, right? Going red side to blue side to red side. Assess where you're losing the most time compared to the pro player that you follow of choice, all right? Your favorite player, because that's where you learn where to fix your clear rather than kind of stabbing around in a haystack. I do prefer still doing the grump into the blue for better sequencing, even as Viego. Sure, it might slow you down a little bit, but I mean, look at this. You got time. You can play around it properly. Jhin Morgana is a tough one to gank, and Rumble will usually have lane prio. So in his pathing, I'm curious to see what he actually chooses. Wow. Master tier top laners do not have this warding discipline. Fascinating. This is good, right? And what I would say for you mostly, you regular Joes, you regular players, ping your top laner to do this ward. Hey, Brand got leashed in path topside. Guy, be careful. He might gank you, especially if you're shoving. Ping it. Maybe they'll listen. If they don't, you lose nothing. But in this case, he does it by himself. Now, Brand's clear is finishing here at 329, which is slow. Viego pushed this down. Obviously, he's trapping here in case the Brand does show up. Brand here, this is what's interesting. Look, if you're the Brand, it's 328. Your top laner has prio. Your mid laner is Lissandra. She is decently positioned, but she's still Lissandra versus Corki, right? What's the best play here when you're this slow or you're against such a negative pressure point? Especially seeing as you anticipate this guy started bottom, went up. Just go back to base. Back to base, buy. I know at this particular point it sucks because you don't get your faded ashes, but that's the price you pay for being slow in your clears, right? So if you want to fix that, you got to think differently, deeper, and be better. Ultimately, this face-checking shenanigans is ridiculous. You should anticipate that there's someone down here. Okay, look at this. There you go. Viego does what I expected. I'm very excited. Thumbs up, smiling at the camera. I love it. Basically just says, look, this guy's slow. Let him be slow, right? That's exactly how you approach things as a jungler with a tempo advantage, a time advantage. Obviously, pay attention here to the Romans from the bottom lane. We do have smite, so you can just smite that if you need to. Oh, Juju. Good, nice. But, sir, this is great. So, the Brand is slow, right? The Brand is slow in his first clear. I'm taking this, pushing it down. Great. My guy has prior up here. It's warded. He's protected against himself and the fact that he's Rumble. Cut across mid lane, beautifully execute a gank against Lissandra. Chef's kiss, no flash burnt. Double scuttle control. Morgana rotates up, which creates prior for your bottom lane who were being pushed in, right? So this pathing already, despite not having a heavy, I don't know what to say, like a Smurf-like thing, which people always say, like invade and kill the Brand. It's just good map control. Full clear scuttle into a gank into double scuttle. Just playing properly and playing well causes a suction effect, a vacuum effect on your team. This guy here has the opposite effect. If you as Brand full clear up and you're slow and you really want faded ashes and you know Viego's here, cut around this way. Even honestly, just cut back this way. If there's a plan available, depending on how slow you are, hit it to have a look. Otherwise, maybe counter gank this or maybe try and reverse sequence this one. But why? You just might as well eat the loss, go back to base, get this free, and maybe you could do something about bottom lane, right? While Viego is doing something mid lane. It's better than whatever the hell he has done, which is beat Chunked and now just wander around the seven seas. This ward, again, I had this in a gameplay channel from a Grandmaster Lilia, and I was confused by this, because even though we know that the brand is going to go back to base, yeah, see, I don't like this. We know that the brand hypothetically should be in base, right? He's going to be half down to do his Gromp, Wolves, and go up. What if, though, he goes to the Gromp and tries to gank your bottom lane? So I like having the ward here because it will tell me explicitly what he does. Now, yes, there's a possibility he does Gromp, Wolves, and cuts in for the Dragon. But I don't care because then I'll just take his top side, right? Now, from Viego's perspective, in this case, bottom lane are sagging off. Lissandra is in vision. This guy's going here. Go and steal his Gromp. Go ward and steal his Gromp. 420, the sucker's going to respawn. We can snack that up very, very easily. Now, here it spawns for us at 426, 427. That is slow. But I'm okay doing it. Because, sure, you could maybe look for this. I wouldn't, but you could. And if he stays any longer while I'm doing his Gromp, right? Maybe he can steal his Wolves as well. I could be watching that. A little greedy to steal the Wolves, but definitely Gromp, back to base, then into Krugs, what are these? Krugs into Raptors, and now you can basically be in a really great position. So I think Viego should have looked to do that. Brand stays out, goes ahead and ganks the mid lane, presses E into a Q into a W. Wow, that was so skilled. Magnificent. Tick, 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 but no boom. Now he's going to go up to his second spawn, Raptors. So from Viego's point of view, this is a loss of tempo. This is not a good decision from him. He has compromised the advantages that the brand gave him by making mistakes, and this could all be gone. Why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? Because we are just over level 5. If you took that, went back to base, took this, see this, did this, and ganked this sucker, you'd be level 6. And then you'd have free Grubs level 6. While the brand would go down and take his Wolves, sure, he'd get them, but there'd be no Grump. Now, you've moved up, brand has stayed out, you have no lanes to help you. You're walking in his jungle. I hope he dies for this. I hope he dies for this. This is greedy and bad pathing. That's why. Tragic. Look, no offense, but this is why you're gold. And that's good. That's okay. I'm happy. Like, I made these mistakes all the time. Everybody does. Look, I've watched the Master Tier play make this mistake this week. This is fine. Just understand why. Was this a bad play? Versus watching the brand on wards, tracking what he does, stealing his grub, sequencing all the way up. Let him play around with himself. Let him try and figure out how to take his 2 IQ points and make a fire. Let him figure out how to do that in his side of the jungle, right? You don't need to interfere. Ensure, though, that you then control top side as well as the grubbies. You'll be in a great position. Now, though, you're totally ruined. He goes back to base for Haunting Guys. That's quite funny. Look, Haunting Guys are still great in brand, but I'm going to give you the secret tech on brand. Rylai's Rush is still the best win rate item. Now, what I would do, personally, is I would sit on the Faded Ashes. Like I would sit on a Tiamat. I feel like that invest gets paid back by the bonus farming that you get. And I think that's an important concept to think about. So, Rumble topside fighting the Ornn. Viego now going down. This guy's going to go straight to the grubbies or getting topside. What's he going to do? There should be no reason why in this MMR range you are not on the grubs at level 6, getting level 6 by 6 minutes 30 ever. You should always be in that moment. And that's, for me, the fix, right? So this video, go watch the Jungle Roots video on the main channel, the level 6 one, the first level 6 one I just put out 2-3 weeks ago. Focus on this. Make this your religion and get 6 early, because this guy, level 5 brand, all the way up into Master Tier, will be doing this, walking up level 5 to the grubs. You want to be 6, then you eviscerate them and you snowball. That's exactly what we like to do. So, in my opinion, that's what I would look to do in these situations. Now, because of his bad decision, he dies. Now, Brand gets free grubs. He's not impacting the bottom lane whatsoever. Yes, he hit level 6 and he doesn't look for it. I mean, personally here, you should probably look to do something about it, right? Rather than just sequence them blindly, you have 6 while Brand's on grubbies, go and do something. Does he force this? Or does he just go straight for Dragon? Oof, there you go. We take those. See, what we could do while the Brand is topside here, joking it around, is counter jungle. Now, to me, I value his whole blue quadrant here more than I value that Dragon. At a high clip, too. because it's third rotation camps, and obviously this is a great ward here by the Lissandra, by the Morgana, by the Brand, whoever placed it. That's fantastic. We know that they're on the Dragon from the red team's perspective, but nothing you can do about it. So from Brand's, did he just ding 6? 836? Goodness gracious me. Really slow. So ask yourself this question when you watch your VOD reviews today as a gold level jungler. Why could I not punish a guy who's getting level 6 2 minutes after when he should be getting it? And that's, I think, a great way to phrase your VOD reviews, right? First and foremost, why was my level 6 slow? Okay. Then when you watch this Brand, why couldn't I punish him? And this is the biggest thing. Punish and deny, punish and deny. This whole quadrant dying equals the Brand has nowhere to go. I have better angles for ganks and collapses, and I can always loop back again, and then I can take the Dragon thereafter. I can always go back to base after taking the quadrant if I have a crucial itemization spike, gank it after, and then do the Dragon. The denial there is more important because the Brand had a very late level 6. This is a third rotation quadrant now. By that I mean the camps have now spawned 3 times, and the second spawn on the blue. He'll be level 7 after this, and you're going to be just level 7. The experience level should be pretty damn close. Let's see. You might even have a small lead. Come on. You got it, sir. You got it. You can do it. There is his level lead. You can see in the bottom left, the little pink line. And Viego's just a little bit less, as I said. So Brand's got more experience than you right now in the game League of Legends. Why does he have more experience than you? That's where this denial is so damn important. That's why in the courses, we talk all the time about jungle denial being the most fundamental thing for gold and platinum junglers to get to emerald. It is the biggest difference because the junglers that you're facing and you as a jungler are still making a lot of mistakes. But the difference is you start to get punished for them and you start to lose out. And that really is something that continues to get worse and worse and worse at an exponential curve the higher up you go in ranks. Now the Brand can go topside and get free farm. So the Viego here is not punishing the Brand's waffling, his terrible pathing, anything. And we're 1-1-0 while he's 1-0-0. Well, a little bit of CS. Gold amount's basically the same. We're not really on target to hit that 14-minute 6k gold advantage, are we? Secondly, just a little bit about Viego itemization. I understand it's the trend, it's in vogue to go for the Blade of the Ruined King because he is called that. Stop it though, because half the time you're never going to be able to use it. Are you really going to be able to get that slow and hit the Blade of the Ruined King passive on a Jhin with a Morgana if they do their job correctly, especially if it's a Brand, Ornn, and Lissandra? I don't think so. The way I view it for Viego's is Kraken is still the best. Mathematically, it is the best by win rate, but also strategically, you know, kind of assessing this, it is. I've been going on about Viego builds since his release, and I've always been very quick to swap over based upon the nerfs they gave him in the itemization. The movement speed and the passive and the way Kraken works is just the best for jungle spiking at level 1. Afterwards, if you want to go for Blade and you prefer that style, go ahead, enjoy yourself. I don't think it's best, but you know, you do you. After that though, think about Sundered Sky and Trinity Force as your go-to items. Are they squishy? Kaida build? Do I need the movement to be passive? Do I want the bonus damage? Do I want to be able to have a higher DPS? Then Trinity Force will do great things. And obviously then you can think about your Sterak's and your Maw and your Wit's End and your Death Stunts and things like that. But if you go Sundered Sky, Sterak's Gates, those 3 items are still the best. It's not the most exciting. It's definitely a little bit boring. But do you want to win? Or do you want to have a few moments that feel good with Blade of the Ruined King? Pick and choose. And just stay away from Titanic. I know some people run it, but just... it's a petri dish experiment, right? Like you're building Titanic, and in your mind, it's like, well, in practice tool, it did this, or in theory, it does this. But in reality, these other items provide you way more practical outlets to success. See, look at this. This is not the best gank in the world, but his counter jungling led to a great angle of approach and a free gank. Problem is, he did it while this guy just farms and does the grubs. So he's losing out yet again. And that's our problem, right? He is now the Morgana, and now he's nothing else to do. Brand can also finish this up and maybe steal the Grump. Can you? Do it, sir. Oh, he wants to kill the Corki instead. See, like here, just go for the Grump. Go counter jungling, especially if the guy's timers are being tracked in your mind, especially if he's out of position. Oof. See, look at the Viego. He doesn't think that the Brand is going to go for his camps, right? Why would he? Because it's not jungle denial isn't on the forefront of his mind. And the Brand isn't even thinking about it because jungle denial isn't something he thinks about, counter jungling at all. That's where you get your leads, my friends. Now he's doing his camps while this goes on. Could be rotating. Could be long since rotating. Your bottom lane win it, and you go, Good job, bottom lane. You guys are the best, yeah. But results-based, right? A lot of trust. A lot of trust when that happens. I'm not always a fan of it. However, in this matter, as I've said, 80% rule is the most important thing. So if you don't think that you can rotate there in time at an 80% probability to get kills to help them, then don't. Yes, by all means, stay on your red, go to your Raptor sequence up. Why base though, right? He's going obviously for the Kraken Slayer here. Build path, obviously, shifted around a little bit. New equipment is going to Lord Dominic's. Yeah, it's an interesting one. That should be cool. So good on the Kraken here. We like that one. Sorry if I kind of sold it as if he was going Blade. I actually didn't really fully look at his build, so I'm curious to see what he goes next. Let's see. Merc Dredge is great here, obviously. If you disagree, I don't think I can help you. I think there's a slot in Joker's crew in Arkham City. They can help you. So this is the thing. For me, I think this is a great little small strategic window into how I think on this patch. I rate this guy's objective snack 1,000 years ahead of the Viegos. That the grubs at 6 plus the Herald is way more valuable for winning games. The 2 dragons I don't care about. I'm actively actually pathed in a way that gives up dragons. I only get them if it's truly free. Like, I got no camps to be counter jungle, there's no grubs, there's no Herald, I am down here, yeah, sure, let's do it, right? If there's free objectives, I'll take them, I'm not gonna ignore it. But I would prefer to not be trading dragons for grubs and for heralds, especially when we're 1-1-1. There's a little bit of a flash, we'll go and get that one going. Here's a brand taking off the... Can we go counter jungling now, perhaps? Nope. See, now the brand should be counter jungling and he isn't. Don't need to rush the herald either, no wave. Cutting across. The windows here are not... They're not good, like... We see the Viego going down here, right? We know he's in our jungle again. We know he's ganking bottom side, we're doing top side. There it is. That's fine, though. Yeah, that's okay. We just wait for the Sandra to play around it. They should be out of position. Oof, this is going to be spicy. Does she have flash up, actually? No, she doesn't. Never mind. Ults herself. Jin? It was not a spy. I thought something else would happen. Orange shows up. He's nothing. Well, sorry. Should I put that fight on the thumbnail? Best fight world, and you guys will all be hyped, and then you'll get in and realize it was tragic. No, I wouldn't do that. Jin now dies as well to the Viego, 3-1-2. Yeah, very interesting. But the brand has done a solid job just catching up a little bit with the sequencing, which I, of course, value quite heavily. Here's Ornn. Ult coming up very, very shortly. There we go. Viego goes and farms again instead of handling his business mid lane. It's become a straight up stat checking fiesta, which is why at 40 minutes, you know, we look at our gold now, 6.6, 5.5 for the brand. That's pretty low because it's 17 minutes. So he's not jungled well at all, right? The brand is jungled horrifically. But the question I guess I pose to you is, what do you think an Emerald level jungler, not even Diamond, Master, whatever, what do you think an Emerald level jungler would be doing to this brand if he were playing Viego? I feel like he would have dismantled them. I think he would have had a 4-level lead on the guy. Because he was so inefficient, he left his quadrants up so much, and this was up way too long for Viego, and Brand never took it away. Gotta look for those windows. However, Viego does a little bit of cleanup in the last few minutes, gets a couple kills, goes back to base here, 2.5 in pocket. Look at the map though. What's the stat missing from the Viego's stat post-game thing that we're going to think about? Why is the Viego's map looking like this despite him doing a solid job, despite the gold lead being equal? Gold amount being equal. Turret damage, my friends. Turret damage. Why is there more turret damage for the blue team? I mean, for the red team. Because they got grubs. Because they have Herald. Which they will use now as well. Viego, in the meantime, decides to chase Morgana instead of dealing with his... You know, his bottom lane are actually doing a solid job, and he's got 3 ADCs on his team, so I don't blame him for being a little bit suspect. A little bit sussy here about his team. But... And they're taking his camps, and the guy's going to go back to base, and we're technically going down to the Krugs. That's great. But unless you're going to split push this up... Oh, I went back way too far. Excuse me. Let's go forward, 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 forward. Okay, here we go. So we see this fight begin. Jin's ulting on ults. Okay, Rummel's top side here, and guy's got no TP, so he's going to be no help. Lissandra, though, is bottom lane. She does have TP. That is something we do have to be aware of. However, Brand, obviously, we see on this Grump. So we know that we have, currently, 3v3 scenario, except we can make it 4v3. And we need to use that. So the Viego is going to go and chase the Morgana. That's the mistake. Don't do that. Cut in, and now all of a sudden you've got a 4v2 fight. Okay? And Ashe has actually done a great job stunning the Jhin. So Misfortune, Corki, and Viego need to all turn in onto this Ornn and keep everybody alive as much as they can. Now, unfortunately, Viego is the jungler. If it's you, you have to be at a point in the game right now where you are strong enough to make the play I just said. If you are not strong enough to make the play, then you need to fix your early game. That's the whole point of jungling, right? To be strong in this moment so that you can make this play. Kill Jhin, kill Ornn, keep your team alive, push up, hit the turret, take it away, kill anybody that rotates, be in a great position. Now, though, you're chasing the Morgana in their jungle, no reason. 1v3. I guess 1v3, but like we don't do enough damage. We don't do damage to the right people. We don't hit turrets. What do we do? And I think that's always a question you need to ask yourself when you're playing this kind of jungler, this kind of way. Hopefully that makes sense. Dragon spawns because you're tied into doing the dragons. Brand does have a Herald. Kind of curious as to see when he uses it. Most Herald uses are pretty bad. Usually you want to do it when there's an objective up so you can create some prio. You want to do it when you're equal and opposite. Say your team are fighting, bottom lane and you're up here split pushing. Like say you're Viego for some reason up here and you have Herald and your team are going for a dragon you don't need and you can't win the fight anyway. Hey, I would activate the Herald now. Punch it, hit it. I have 6 grubs. Cool. Punch it, hit it. That's another one. If they don't react to me, I'm going to go all the way. So you want to use it as a pressure release valve, whatever form that takes. That is not a pressure relief valve. That's the big red button in a submarine that says, do not press. And you're the guy that just can't help himself. And it's a self-destruct button. That's that Herald. Oh, here he comes. Or he's a genius savant and it's just a rotational vehicle. No, don't do that. Although that's quite funny. He used it as a rotational vehicle, gets some kill and assist. It goes back to the... You know what? Funny. Just funny. Just laughing. But from Blue Team's perspective, right? Look at the map again. We're doing this dragon, we're coin flipping it, getting the third one. That's fine. But look at this. Ashe is being run down by the Ornn. The Misfortune is over here on this side. The Corki is killing the... Where's Viego going? Chasing the Morgana. Target selection and target swapping are so important as fighters and as assassins. And Viego does play a little bit like both. Guy just altered an Ornn in Lysandra in a stasis. So, hey. That's a tough thing, I will say. That is not an easy thing. That's why, because team fighting and target selection and target swapping are such difficult concepts, why make them harder than they need to be by being equal and behind in gold compared to the rest of the map? So if I have a fix that allows me to be the strongest Avenger, to be Hulk on the map, so that when these fights come, I can just start swatting people side to side by their feet, why wouldn't you use it, right? So that's the way I view early game jungling. It's so that when these moments come, I can be the Hulk, have a lot of fun, laugh at everybody, all right? And sometimes, yes, if you play in EU West, you know that they do almost type like the Hulk speaks. It's a way better outcome. Now the Viego is level 11, 332. Brand is 314, and he is now a gold leader 400. I don't know what the Brand did to deserve such gifts, but you, my friends, are the ones that gave it to him. So that's a big lesson from this one, right? Now, in this comp, do you see yourselves being able to fight an Ornn, Morgana, Lysandra, Brand, Jhin face to face with 1400 ADCs, a Rumble, and a guy that's really overcompensating with a sword? No, you can't. So this is when you want to unlock your macro. Okay, so you look at the game, you say, look, I didn't play my best game. How can I macro this? How can I smurf this scenario? First and foremost, if you're going to split push here, don't be collapsed upon. Understanding when people are rotating onto you is step one, right? There is a little bit of a feel engine to that, but usually it's when the enemy team walks on the minimap up. And if you happen to be up, you should probably not stay up. High-level advice early on this channel, just for you guys. But yeah, I mean, look, it's an obvious thing. You push, you see them rotate, you sag off. Don't overcommit on the split push. ADCs do it, junglers do it, everybody does it. Most important thing when you're splitting is to not do that. I will release something maybe on the main channel video channel soon talking about this. I just had a live coaching session with a Viego main talking about this. He had the lowest damage on his team by a significant amount, but they won the game because he said, that team comp that we're fighting, I don't want to fight it anymore. I'm just going to push it and hit the macros and hit the turrets. And they won from it, so it's a different way to play. But in this case, I'm not looking to teamfight that comp. That's a rough teamfight to comp even as Viego, right to comp to teamfight even as Viego. And again, he's built the Blade of the Ruined King. Again, why? You know, in this team comp here, because there's so much CC, even though a lot of them are squishy, quote unquote, the Sundered Sky makes a lot more sense because you want that healing, right? The old Divine Sunderer healing component. When you're CC'd, you have damage profile, you have healing, you're able to survive a lot longer in fights with the HP. Yes, Trinity Force is great, and you could still use it effectively here if you have a big lead, but like you're CC'd now. Oh, Blade of the Ruined King was so great, guys. You did nothing. You're squishy. You flanked. You couldn't do anything. What's the best play here, macro-wise? Look at this. If you're gonna go Blade, if you're gonna do this, and you're gonna build Wit's End and shit like this, which you should do in this build, catch this wave here, shove it, take it, shove it, take it. They're gonna rotate, cut down, take whatever, shove it up. If you can kill one or two, that's the best thing, but he can't because he didn't play early game properly. So right now, you look at this, you think, okay, you know, there's the Ash Arrow, push this up first and foremost, get vision line, and observe how the team fight transpires. Do not be the one guy going behind four people. Not gonna work, right? You got an inhib down, it's not gonna work. You're by yourself, it's just a silly entry point. So shove up, force a rotation, sag down, push this one up as well potentially, unless your team actually make a great pick, sag down and cut back in and join the fight while the person who rotated is by themselves. And that's how you do it. It's not easy, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of practice, but the worst thing you can possibly do is oversplit push and die 4v1, and then flank like an assassin and die 4v1. And that's basically the lesson here. So even if his atomization were perfect, I don't think it makes a big difference because his positioning was so poor. But yeah, literally nothing happens until the next dragon. They don't take the Baron, they just all reset, and here we go again. On my own. See, he's flanking by himself, literally. That is the song. That is this guy's theme song. On E against ADC equals dead ADC. Like, see, you're not going to win these fights with this many ADCs. I know it's a shitty team comp. That's why macro is important. Haha. Don't go for the person with the Zonyas. Wow, this is not good. See, Blade of the Ruined King doing lots versus having an extra 450 health. Focusing on the Dragon Steel. Guys, you want to know the play in this situation? Final tip for this video. If you have 3 dragons and you've had to give up the whole top side for the turrets, the grubs, and the heralds, give them this dragon and have everybody go for this. Because you will be able to use that to wave clear, hold, and get fed. Game goes on another 10 minutes, but you'll be able to win it from that juice alone. Do not go for the soul point. Go for the Baron, give them the dragon, play the next phase of the game. Nice total gold game review, though. I applaud the guys for doing their best, and hopefully they can build on this and keep climbing up, and maybe we'll see this Viego and this Brand and Platinum one day, but in my opinion, they need to fix these things first.